All right, chat. Today we got a TommyNFG video, the biggest beefs of all time. Listen, okay? Every freaky y'all viewer right now, bro, please sit down, okay? I'm not talking about beefs. I'm talking about beefs, like conflicts, like rivalry. You feel me? Thank you. Anyways, looking at the thumbnail, we got Trump and Biden. That's facts. We got Drake and Kendrick, and we got these two in the back. I don't know who they are. I think that's South and North Korea, maybe. Let me give y'all my 2 cents with these beefs, okay? So Trump and Biden, listen, I'm not gonna tell y'all who I voted for. First of all, I didn't even vote, but I'm not gonna tell y'all who I wanted to win, blah, 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 blah. Listen, we just need a change, okay? And we got change. Drake and Kendrick, I'm just a listener. I don't care who it is. I'ma consume the music, bro. Drake or Kendrick, they both make really great songs. And GNX, fire album, 10 out of 10. South and North Korea, I don't like either. I like Japan. I like manga over manhwa, except Solo Leveling. Shout out Solo Leveling. Anyways, that's about it. Shout out TommyNFG. Let's see.
Beefs have been an established thing since cavemen. Beefs have been an established thing since cavemen walked this earth. If a caveman took another caveman's stick, a beef was established and tribes fought for thousands of years. And for the year of 2024, I think we can't deny that this was the year of beefs.
Facts.
The amount of beefs that happened this year probably won't happen again until the next.
And PDFs. But obviously that's a different video. But chat, this year has been very wonky, bro. There has been a lot of beefs and there has been a lot of PDFs.
The amount of beefs that happened this year probably won't happen again until the next 100 years. And who else to start with other than
the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
Asylum officers?
What he said at the end of that sentence, I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Now. Election season is over and all, thank God. But looking back at this, I swear, I've never seen two politicians that hated each other so much like Trump and Biden did.
Facts,
and I don't
bro.
think we'll get another politician beef like these two ever. I think Trump changed the politician game by calling anyone who's against him a random bad nickname.
Yep.
Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe, Lion Kamala. Meanwhile, Biden's called Trump every terrible nickname he could think of. Clown, liar, loser. He even wants to get freaky with him.
Agreement, but I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
Hey, yo,
Honestly,
what?
the reason I think this election was so serious for people is because these were beefing like boxers do. I didn't even know politicians hated each other this much until these two. They made it so personal. It sounded like the world was
and
gonna
honestly, I hope this is the last time that it gets this personal or like this exaggerated, because bro, I feel like there was less politics, more name throwing, more lying, more exaggeration, more name calling. Like bro, what are y'all doing to change the country? That's what we want to know. And yeah, I hope this is the last time, because bro, this was getting too hectic.
And at the end of this whole thing, people acted like this was the first election and last election ever, and we never had elections before this.
I'm
and
saying,
yes, you can replace Biden with Kamala, same thing, but they both literally said if you vote for the other side, you're voting against the American people. So who's really for the American people?
We don't
both
know.
of y'all are saying it. Like, this really makes no sense.
Bro, it was so confusing, bro. One was saying, don't pay attention to the media because it's a lie, which I kind of believe that. Then the other one was saying, oh, don't vote for that one because if you vote for that one, you're technically voting for Hitler. I'm like, wait, what? And don't vote for this because democracy's at stake. But what, bro? Where is the politics? There's no politics. Y'all are just lying on everyone's name, bro. What's going on?
Someone's got to be lying here. I honestly think at the end of the day, all these politicians are secretly friends. Because if you even look back at in 2016 when Trump and Hillary were going against each other, there's like multiple videos of Trump saying Hillary Clinton's a great person and a terrific woman. He even invited her to his wedding back in the day. But as soon as he started running, it was GG's to all that history. It's crazy how they both called each other out on their main flaws too. Trump calling Biden mentally unfit, Biden calling Trump morally unfit. And if we're being honest, they're both right in their ways to it takes this man Biden all his might to put together a fraction of a sentence. And Trump got like 10 new scandals every day, bro. Their beef was so serious that Biden basically reversed all the changes Trump made as soon as he got in office. He made over 14 plus changes to Trump's signed in law policy. And the one change that probably got him the most mad is he halted the building of the border wall. If there's only one reason that he hates him, that'll be the one. To me, the American political system is so stupid because now that Trump's elected, he's just gonna put the old policies back in.
That's what I was just about to say. The same thing that Biden did to him, he's gonna do to Biden. He's just gonna reverse everything and redo or remake or whatever a lot of the things that Biden did as well.
He's just gonna put the old policies back in. So like nothing is really permanent for real. We just go back and forth for something we'll never all universally agree that we like. And ever since Kamala started running instead of Joe, it seems like they've started to become friends. This man Biden was smiling and giggling in every picture with Trump. I thought you were supposed to hate him, dog. What happened? You know?
Nah, it's funny because Biden is so cooked in the head that people think that he actually voted for Trump. And then there was that one time where he put Trump's hat on his head and he was smiling. I thought that was funny. Like, I don't know. Part of me capable of being in office, bro. Like, you need to retire, my boy. Oh, is the mic cooked? Hello? My mic is cutting. Oh my God. Okay, so it's not the wire. I think it's my mic, bro.
Running instead of Joe, it seems like they've started to become friends. This man Biden was smiling and giggling in every picture with Trump. I thought you were supposed to hate him, dog. What happened? You know, maybe the election was just the friends we made along the way. I feel like that's a good assessment. Next, we got Kendrick versus Drake. I don't think anyone knew what this beef was gonna turn into when it first happened. Like, how the did it go from the big three, nigga, it's just big me, to an entire lawsuit that might be the biggest record label lawsuit ever? I don't know how many people even know this lawsuit is going on, but it's actually way more complicated than just Drake suing Kendrick. The word on the street is both Drake and Kendrick's record labels are under Universal Music Group, who owns basically every record label.
Bro, literally owns every record label, and no matter what you do on YouTube, you will always get copyright striked by the UMG, bro. By the way, that's why I stopped reacting to music, because no matter what you do, no matter if you switch it, if you censor it, whatever, you get claimed by UMG, bro. Like, I get 1,000 views on my videos, bro. You're taking 20 cents from me. Really? I miss your music reactions. They were so cool. I hated them.
Is this list not insane? They own every artist you listen to. UMG owns you, bro. Anyways, Drake was in talks with Universal Music Group to get a new contract because he made them a lot of money.
Facts.
And then the beef started between him and Kendrick. So he's suing Universal Music Group because he thinks they helped Kendrick win the beef so he could get less money for his contract. Which I don't know how confident Drizzy is in this lawsuit, because not like...
Wait, that... Alright, okay, that's crazy if that actually happened, but I could see like why that makes sense and why he's trying to investigate the playbacks or like the numbers from Spotify. And there was that one time where they asked Spotify about the numbers and Spotify didn't even comment. So kind of seems sus, I get it. But Drake suing the music label or whatever makes it seem bad, because now it's like, oh damn, I just lost the beef. So now this makes me seem like a sore loser. That's tough.
Which I don't know how confident Drizzy is in this lawsuit, because Not Like Us was played everywhere. I saw him played at people's graduations, weddings, funerals. But if this is true, this is going to be the craziest revolution of all time in media. The amount of people involved in this beef too was crazy when you think about it. I would never think someone like The Weeknd would somehow be involved in a rap. But somehow Drake has made so many enemies he got involved in it. Which is why I'd be confused on the Drake and meat gobblers who still be defending him to his core. Like, are you not gonna acknowledge that Drake has started any of these feuds and done bad things? I can understand in a beef like Drake and Kanye, who have both done f***ed up to each other. But with someone like The Weeknd, Drake literally took half his album, quoted by The Weeknd himself, and used it for Take Care, which is supposed to be Drake's all-time classic.
Wait, what? I actually didn't know that. I was aware that Drake took other artists, like songs or whatever, but for that album, yo, this was like one of my favorite Drake albums. And it's by The Weeknd? Oh no. Drake, what is wrong with you, bro?
The Weeknd himself, and used it for Take Care, which is supposed to be Drake's all-time classic. Like, can we even call this a classic anymore if he barely even worked on the album?
Facts.
And then I want the Drake meat gobblers to explain what his point of difference.
It wouldn't hit the same if it was The Weeknd. Comments don't come from me, please. I can understand that too, though. I'm not gonna lie, but he did steal it. I get Drake is trying to sue Kendrick for all the chaos and stuff, but at the end of the day, he did all of this to himself, and he's no better because he's done worse than Kendrick, and the fact that Drake deleted everything after Not Like Us flooded the internet is absolutely hilarious. Exactly, so it makes it seem way worse. But then now I want to know if, okay, let's say Drake actually wins this lawsuit and like the truth comes out, you know, how is that gonna change? Are people gonna give Drake his respect, or are they gonna be like, nah, you still lost? Technically, he did still lose though, because the people, and that's who really votes.
Gobblers to explain what his point of dissing Serena Williams' husband was for. Yes, if you don't know, Drake dissed Serena Williams' husband, calling him a groupie. Ironic for the that acts like a groupie. The only possibility of why he would diss him was because he was dating her in the past and lost her. So like a jealous ex, he had to spin back and talk about her. And I see people now talking about, is there ever a chance for them to make up and become friends again in the future? Some people think we live in a Disney fairy tale. Like this Kendrick called him a PDF file and Drake called him a white beater. And now Kendrick's about to potentially perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, calling him a PDF file in front of the entire world. So I think I can
literally, he's gonna be playing a diss track in front of the whole world, bro. That is mad disrespectful. But at the same time, you know what I think about Not Like Us? For the moment, I think it was a great song. Now that it got overplayed literally everywhere, overplayed to the point that I can't stand the song, bro. So honestly, obviously he can perform it and do whatever he wants, but like, I just don't think it's gonna hit the same. I just don't think.
I'd say in no universe will they ever be friends again. Next, we got two countries, North Korea versus South Korea.
Okay.
There was a moment in time where instead of just being called North Korea and South Korea, it was called Korea. And both countries actually aren't that old. They separated into their own states in 1948. They should just coexist with each other. They have the same problems. Low birth rates, old people, natural disasters. But only South Korea gave a sample, so shout out South Korea for the monitor I'm using to make this video. Everyone lived at peace, of course, until World War II, where the two countries who like to...
I see what Vash is doing. He wants people to comment. Equals more engagement. W YouTuber. Okay. Not Like Us is fucking garbage. Okay. It was fun. It was cool. Kendrick took down a tyrant. He took down the Omega star when it came out. The #1 artist, Drake. Kendrick took him down, bro. It was great. But now the song is garbage. Okay. Yo, make sure y'all comment. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that was W rage bait. Alright. Yeah, rage bait. Oh yeah. Comment, guys, comment. Write paragraphs now.
South Korea for the monitor I'm using to make this video. Everyone lived at peace, of course, until World War II, where the two countries who like to meddle into everyone's business ruined it. Russia and the US. North Korea took Russia and the Soviet Union side, while South Korea took the United States side. And one side was right clearly because I wouldn't have my monitor or washing machines without it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of this guy, I don't know if y'all saw, I think he's the current president, if I'm not mistaken, of South Korea. He tried to do martial law. Nobody wanted martial law. So it took one day for them to say, nah, like everybody was saying, nah, bruh. And now he is being, what's it called, charged with treason. That's tough.
Stateside. And one side was right clearly because I wouldn't have my monitor or washing machines without it. Shout out to USA. But when the countries split between each other, usually they split on peaceful terms and promised to leave each other alone. Yeah, for North Korea and South Korea, it was the complete opposite. They signed a deal to temporarily stop fighting, but not permanently, which is why they're still at war all the time. The amount of stuff each country has done to each other too is petty as hell. I'm not talking about just the missiles they send to each other all the time. They do the littlest just
that's
to
a
piss
big
each
one.
other off a bit more. You know how when you're arguing with someone and they start mocking you just to be a nuisance? That's North and South Korea all the time. South Korea has speakers facing North Korea to blast propaganda at its citizens, which is things like news about how bad North Korea really is, messages towards the soldiers telling them to switch sides, and K-pop music. I say propaganda lightly because what North Korea considers propaganda is just freedom. But for some reason, Kim really hates K-pop music. He executed one of his citizens for being caught listening to it, and anyone that does can also be executed.
What? Bro, how are people living there? You got executed for listening to a song. Are you kidding me? And listen, chat, I understand that in the US, there's a lot of messed up things that happen, but I, and you should be also fortunate and appreciative enough that you do live in a country where you can, in a sense, do whatever you want and have freedom of speech, have freedom of expression, have freedom of religion, have freedom of whatever. Bro, executed for listening to K-pop. 6 stories, you like K-pop, you're done, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo.
official law there that if you're caught with any South Korean media, you face heavy penalties. And heavy penalties is probably the luckiest thing you could get. They never even watched Squid Game. They don't know the second season is coming out. That must suck. South Korea also sends balloons of things that are propaganda, like anti-regime leaflets. They get so petty though that they send USBs with South Korean dramas trying to get people from there to watch it. I can't tell if this is a good or bad thing, because maybe it's good to try and show them their media and have them realize North Korean movies are dog. But at the same time, if they get caught with it, they definitely getting publicly executed. So maybe that isn't the best plan from South Korea. They also send dollar bills into North Korea, which I really don't think will do anything. South Korea also set up a huge Christmas tree near the North Korean border so it's visible to the people there. Because, you know, North Korea doesn't have Christmas there.
Yo, Mariah Carey, bro. She's set for life. Like, it's still mind-boggling. Every time December comes, this girl makes like 20 to 30 million off of one song, chat.
Because, you know, North Korea doesn't have Christmas there, or... Actually, does North Korea have any holidays? Oh, they have a Mother's Day. Well, that's wholesome.
Nice.
But 2 days later is... Missile Industry Day. And
Brother, what? Bro, from Mother's Day to...
wholesome. But 2 days later is... Missile Industry Day. An entire day dedicated to a missile they launch.
What is wrong with
Seems
y'all?
wholesome enough to put next to Mother's Day. Eventually, South Korea took down the Christmas tree because North Korea called it psychological warfare. The funniest one to me, though, is North Korea made up lies about the former South Korean president and said things like he's a cannibal. Kim must think his citizens lack common sense, because what world leader that's a cannibal would get elected in any society? Even the brainwashed North Korean citizens aren't that brainwashed. Next, we got Michael Jackson versus Sony. Now, you've all probably heard about this beef by now, or the rumor that Sony was the one.
Bro, this is so random, bro. Like, the first two was relevant. Now we're going from South Korea to... And now Michael Jackson to Sony, bro.
Michael Jackson? Michael was walking around with signs all the time on Sony and its CEO. And this all started when Michael signed a deal with Sony in the 90s. He owned half of Sony's catalog, which is insane because Sony owns so much music. We're talking like thousands of songs, including the Beatles catalog. And when his album Invincible came out in 2001, he accused them of not promoting his album good to lower his value in the company. So he then went on a public rant on the CEO and saying he was racist and the devil. That was something never before seen because people just got cucked by their record labels and could do nothing about it. Before social media, if you didn't have a record label pushing your music, there was an 100% chance you weren't gonna make it. So they could do anything to you and you just had to take it. Nowadays, it's a little better, but to be honest, it's still pretty ass. How many artists do you know that are complaining about their record label constantly?
So many.
Someone of Michael Jackson's power doing this, when you think of it, was insane at the time. You can go to any remote...
Yo, people used to go to his concerts and faint, bruh. So he could really say, oh, don't mess with this company, and people will actually do it, bro. He has so much power.
Village, and the one music artist they'll know no matter what is Michael Jackson. You have one of the biggest names in humanity on your company. That's gotta hurt. I know Sony's executive team were sweating bullets every time Michael went to talk bad on their names. When Michael Jackson died years later, though, Sony went ahead and got full ownership of his catalog anyways. The exact thing he didn't want to happen. People think companies like Amazon and Apple are bloodthirsty, but these music companies are the devil reincarnated. If they want something done, they can get it done. Which is why people say Sony gave MJ the farewell to his life. What's the chances of them feuding over this for years and them getting what they wanted after he died? I'm no conspiracy theorist. That's a lie, and it's suspicious at the least. Next, we got Adidas versus Pumas. And I know what you're thinking. What the f, Tommy? But believe it or not,
I thought it was Adidas versus Kanye.
Adidas and Puma were started by two brothers who had a falling out. There would have been a universe where neither of these ever existed. One brother was named Adolf, not the one you're thinking of, not the one you're thinking of. And the other was named Rudy Dazzler. It started when they both founded a shoe company called Dazzler's Brothers Shoe Factory. And it was actually kind of big for the time. Like, people wore their shoes at the Olympics. But eventually they had a falling out like all brothers do over some stupid One of the brothers was more calm and worked on developing the shoes, while the other was hyper and focused on sales. Also, their wives hated each other, and as the old saying goes, if you can't get your bitch in line, your relations will decline. That actually isn't an old saying, I just made it up, but I'm gonna use it. They also had certain views on World War II while it was going on, and as brothers from Germany, of course, they both agreed with the actual Adolf. But if it makes you guys feel better, one of them did less, and that one ended up being Adidas. Maybe that's why they make the better shoe. Eventually, they ended up splitting up in 1948 and made Adidas and Puma. Their beef was so ingrained in their hometown that they got their own citizens beefing in it. It was either you aligned with the Adidas side or you aligned with the Puma side. People were looking each other up and down to see what shoes they had just to judge them. It was like the German Bloods and Crips. Imagine being caught on the wrong side of town with Puma shoes instead of Adidas and getting jumped by people fully dripped out in Adidas. No one even knows this beef for real because Nike came out and ended up becoming Adidas' main competitor. If we can even call it a competition, like Nike easily labs Adidas 5 times over. Sadly, the brothers never made up and both took the beef to their graves. They hated each other so much that they got buried in the same graveyard, but on opposite sides. Both of y'all are dead, man. Does it matter where you're buried? And last, we got Bill Gates versus Steve Jobs. Two of the biggest tech leaders in the world beefing is not a surprise at all, especially when you know how wild of a man Steve Jobs was. He was the Kanye of technology, pretty much. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates liked each other at first, though. Microsoft created software for one of Apple's old computers back in the day, but when Microsoft released Windows, Steve Jobs started spazzing out that they stole his designs. He might have been tripping because I think anyone can tell the difference between a Windows computer and a Mac. But then Bill Gates said they both stole it from another company anyway, so it doesn't matter. Which isn't that crazy of a philosophy. They're both assholes for doing it. Apple even ran an ad campaign against Windows, making fun of it, saying it's slow and bad in commercials. But I've had a MacBook before, and I can tell you, that color wheel scroll will make any lose his mind.
Facts.
You're no better. A slow MacBook.
Mac sucks. You can't do anything in it. You can't do shit. Okay, you can't play games. All you can do is just download programs and whatever. Woo, it's an office computer. Oh my God, nobody cares, bro. Let me do stuff. I can't do any. I can't download my favorite apps. Yo, bro, all you can do on Mac is make beats. Facts, and open up iTunes and connect your phone and sync your apps and music, bro. That's it. I love my MacBook Air. Yeah, that cost $1,000 exactly. For a laptop, you can spend that same amount of money on a computer and yeah, do way more on it. That's just me though.
Will have you taking 5 minutes to load up a browser. They both made fun of each other all the time. Steve Jobs would call Bill Gates uncreative, and Bill Gates would say Steve Jobs doesn't know anything about technology. Steve Jobs liked how Apple made its computer hardware and software, while Bill Gates liked how Microsoft created software that could be universally used. In the short term, Steve Jobs was right. You used to be him if you had a MacBook. But in the long term, yeah, Windows completely on Mac. It's not even close. At least this story has a somewhat happy ending because they made up after years of beefing. And when Steve Jobs passed away, Bill Gates gave him his flowers. Both of them are still terrible people though. Like Steve Jobs abandoned his kid and never paid child support while his ex-wife was paycheck to paycheck, and he was a multi-millionaire. Bill Gates, as we all know, sure loved to fly to that island. But you know what? Shout out to both of them. I'm using a Windows computer to make this video and I do have an iPhone, so thanks, guys. That's all, everyone. Let me know if I missed anybody in the comments. Follow me on Twitter.
Hey, phone-wise, iPhone is the way to go, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Microsoft, I think they used to make a phone, right? But yeah, that's cooked. The iOS is better.
For Instagram and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time,
I'm out. I missed the beat and I missed the I'm out. Okay, W video. Like I said, the first two beefs made sense. After that, whatever, we learned something new, bro. These are the biggest beefs ever. And guess who else has a big beef? I actually don't know. W video, gotta go. See you tomorrow.